So today I will be showing you how I set up my Amia machine from Baxter, which runs my PD dialysis while I sleep. Here I'm getting out my drain bag, which is where all of the drain fluid goes after it's gone through me and dialyzed. I clamp the one side, you don't need to use that side usually, and I put it under my bed so I don't step on it when I go to the bathroom, which is great. Here's my cassette. They come in these little bags. You get like 30 of them a month, but you can also order extra just in case. Sometimes they don't work. And then I go ahead and get out my blood pressure cuff and take my blood pressure, which is generally high. Ever since I got diagnosed with ESRD, I never had a problem with it before. And I take amlodipine for that, which feels very strange as a 20-year-old taking blood pressure medication. I also take my temperature just to make sure everything's normal. My temperature is generally lower than the average 98.6. I'm usually like 97.5 to 98.4. And then also the machine will have you test the sound, which just makes a lot of beeping, and you say yes, it's tested, turn it off, and that just makes sure that basically it'll wake you up. If something is wrong, it'll make a beeping sound if you're like laying on a cord or something. Here I insert my weight in kilos, then I put in my blood pressure, my temperature, and my heart rate, and then I'll choose like which day I want to do, lab day or regular day. Regular day is 5,000 milliliters. I open up the door, I get out the cassette, make sure everything's all good with it. Sometimes they can come melted if like a tube got like too hot in the summer or something, but generally they're fine. Just store them in a cool place. I made the mistake of putting mine next to a heater one time and some of the cords or the tubes melted together. Don't do that. So here you drop the drain line down and you'll deal with that later. And then you have the patient line, which is the green capped one, and then the other ones, which is the ones you attach to the bag, and those are color coded. And just clamp all of those closed and put them in your little side clip. Here you want to just spread out the tubes, place the cassette in, make sure it's pushed down, make sure all the tubes are in line, which is pretty easy. They can pop out sometimes, just push them in. Unwrap the tube, or unwrap the little baggie that's the heater bag so that the solution can go in a little bit warmer than room temperature, especially during winter. You definitely don't want room temperature. Then you place the patient line in there and it'll do a little test to make sure that it's actually there. I like to pull all that down and then clamp your little line, because you also don't need that little sample tube line, and attach your drain bag to your drain line so fluid doesn't get everywhere. Some people drain into their bathtubs, that's totally fine. I have a really old pipe, so I don't do that. And here I move the clamp down on the patient line so that it's not like around me when I'm sleeping, because I don't like to lay on it. It's really painful. Put on a mask, put on your gloves. Also, before you do any of this, wash your hands, please. So I put on my gloves, and then we're going to attach the red line to the 5,000 milliliter bag. I don't do really long dialysis, so I only need one bag and one line. Some people use multiple bags, multiple lines if they have really bad toxin buildup in their body. But mine seems to be relatively fine. This is what I'm prescribed by my nephrologist. Break the little frangible, unclip, and then prime it, and that'll pull the liquid into the bag, into the heater bag to warm it up. Then come back 16 minutes later, mask up, glove up, and then you'll be attaching to the patient line, which just be careful. You don't want to touch the patient or the transfer set ever. That's why I wear gloves, especially during COVID times, just to make sure that nothing is touched and everything's all clean. I just attach to my transfer set with the patient line, drop the caps on the ground because you don't want to risk anything touching your transfer set, so that's just the easiest way. Then I just take off my gloves, throw them in the trash, take off my mask, and I get ready for the initial drain, which can be pretty painful for me personally, but I've heard that I'm an odd one out, so that's fun. Here I'm just waiting. It does the initial drain, and then you'll have the first fill, and then this is the morning after. I'm putting on my gloves, my mask again. To disconnect, I usually stop my machine about like 100 milliliters before I'm completely empty, just so that the next evening I have something for the initial drain to give or take so that it's not as painful. Here I take my little mini cap, which is the cap that's always on the transfer set when you're not attached to a dialysis bag or a machine. I pull my clamp back, and then I just clip it like right on the very end of the patient line, just so no liquid gets everywhere. Close your transfer set. You don't want to spray solution everywhere. And then just carefully put your cap on without touching your transfer set, and you're good to go. Then later in the day I come back and I've already let the bags drain. Usually I have a little bit of solution left in the bag since I only do a 15,000 milliliter fill, or 1,500 milliliter fill per fill, and so there's a little left over at the end of the day, so you just have that empty out into the drain bag, you pull out all the stuff. It shows you in steps, but really you just need to open the door and pull everything out, and then drop everything on the ground. Clamp the lines, so I like to clamp the line to the bag. And thank you for watching.